How y'all doing? Hope all is well. Big Picture Podcast is for entertainment only. Our discussions are humorous and fictional, not serious or factual. We're not sharing personal truths or expertise. Don't try this at home. Our hosts are trained to entertain, not inform or protect your interests or their own. Peace, peace. Hope all is well. Hope y'all are having a beautiful Saturday. Um, Saturday evening. Hope y'all had an awesome week. Waiting for my co-host to tap in so we can start this evening discussion that we have. We have some topics that we want to discuss. A couple of current events. We all know what's going on with our big brother Diddy. So we will be, discussing that issue too. You can't have our brother Diddy, respectfully. So, we're gonna have, conversation and hope you guys enjoy it.
Hey, Ron.
Hey, how you doing, sis? How's everything going?
Long day. Happy Saturday.
Monday, yes, yes. Happy Saturday.
How's
How
your
was
day
your
going?
Saturday? Huh?
It was a long day. I had a long
Oh, it
day.
was a long day?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Okay. I could imagine that.
Mm,
I could imagine that.
yeah.
Um, yeah, man. So yeah, lots been going on in the news, man.
Mm-hmm.
Politics has been, I'm not gonna say it's been quiet. I'm just saying that since Diddy has been, surrounding the news or what have you,
Mm-hmm.
it's just been like it hasn't been as strong as you would think
Mm-hmm.
it would be, as far as like, two individuals running for an office. You would think it would be a lot more going on, far as, them trying to get office, but I don't know what the agenda is, but that's what we're here to talk about and discuss.
Mm-hmm.
Like our brother Daryl said, get your popcorn, get your tea. It's a Saturday night, so unless y'all gotta work on Sunday, you know what I mean? Like, feel free to tap in. We're gonna be chopping it up.
Yeah, we chilling.
Um, yeah. We chopping it up. Get your tea, get your water, get your wine. Um, we're gonna wait for our brother Quan. He'll tap in pretty soon. Shout out to the people that are tapped in right now. Daryl, Orlando,
Hey,
and a couple
guys.
other folks. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel, man. You understand what I'm saying? It's slowly growing. And we want you guys to continue to subscribe because, as you see, we take the footage off of IG the next day and it goes right to YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can see all of the footage that way. But the reason why we do IG Live is because we love the type of feedback you guys give us
Mm-hmm.
while we are on the live. My daughter had me running around all day. Okay, it's all good, bro. It's all good. We know how it is. Like I just said, you catch the rest of the live on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You can catch it on YouTube. It'll also be on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. All right. So that way you guys can listen while you're on the run, when you're running around with your kids, you jogging, you can hear some really good, thorough conversations. You understand what I'm saying?
Driving. Mm-hmm.
Driving, whatever you're
Mm-hmm.
doing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Shout out to my big brother, TD, negotiator. Shout out to the big brother, Rough Riders. Just make sure y'all support his brand, my
Mm-hmm.
beloved. All right, beloved brand. He got the hats, t-shirts, the hoodies. That Swiss Pops. You know what I mean? They come from a good tree of success
Mm-hmm.
and godliness. So listen, man. I love me some trail. What's up? What's up? Listen, we got some good topics, man. You know, So the first topic we want to start with, I just want to get right into it,
Let's go.
and I feel really comfortable talking to a woman about this topic,
Mm-hmm.
because it's always good to hear a woman's view. All right. So, a woman's point of view. So, is it true that a woman has to have feelings for another man in order to cheat versus a man not having feelings for the woman that he cheats with? Is that the stigma? Okay.
Hmm.
Um, to start this conversation off, one of my barbers, one of my old barbers, he told me years ago, he said, little brother, he said, you know, if you're going to cheat, he wasn't telling me to cheat. He was
Mm-hmm.
just saying that he doesn't sleep with the woman more than 5 times.
Mm. Real shit.
Because, huh?
I said real shit.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, because if you slept with the woman for more than 5 times, he'll start to catch feelings for her.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
I say this to say, um, I see brothers, at my job and, passing or whatever, they do their thing, on the
Mm-hmm.
side. And I see that, of course, you'll see them cheat on a woman or whatever. Long story short, you'll see them catching feelings for that woman, leaving
Mm-hmm.
that woman,
Mm-hmm.
and then starting, getting them pregnant and starting new relationships, So this all goes to say, like, is that the case? If you're gonna do it, you know, do it like the stigma says, a man,
Mm-hmm.
do it because you like what you see and get out because you're gonna catch
Mm-hmm.
feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, we're not promoting brothers to cheat or promoting brothers to do it and get in and get out. But moreover, what is your thought process as far as a woman? Do you feel that a woman needs to have feelings or needs to be emotionally attached to a man in order to cheat on her significant other?
Well, I think the comparison is more so that a woman can't help but to catch feelings if she gets involved with another man. So it's like, whereas they say a man can be unemotionally attached, he knows how to just get in, get out. A woman can't help but to, she's going to fall for the guy because women are emotional. And we can say that's the case sometimes, but of course we obviously know that's not the case all the time, because you have some women that they know how to turn off their feelings. They know how to be unattached. Now, whether people may confuse an attachment with um being territorial over someone could feel like, well, I don't necessarily want you, but I don't want you dealing with someone else. Women do tend to have that because women can be very territorial and possessive, but it's not to say that she can't have feelings for him too. So I mean, I really feel like it can be done.
Mm-hmm.
A woman does it. Okay, let's say, I mean, there's so many instances you could say, right? Because you could have a woman, her man been together since high school days, since they was young, teenagers, teen puppy love. They have children together. That's all they really know. Then they go through this dry period where they just tired of each other, but they don't want to break up the household. So it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they both have an understanding. You just don't bring nothing home. I don't want to hear about nothing. Whatever works for them.
Mm-hmm.
There could be a woman where the same thing, like you said with men, where in that situation, the woman has her side piece and the man has his, and they're just each other's outlet or comfort because they can't find that at home at the time, or again, whatever their case is.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be an instance where both the man and the woman could grow an attachment to their other person because they're providing some kind of fulfillment that they're not finding at home with their mate. Or it could be that both of them just sleep around because again, they're not getting home, none at home, and it's just to fulfill that. So I wouldn't say that it necessarily has to be the stigma that the
Mm-hmm.
woman has to be emotionally attached because she's cheating. I think it really depends on the woman, her circumstances, and what she's trying to do. Again, not promoting that, she shouldn't be faithful in her relationship, but realistically, for whatever the reason people cheat, she's either gonna fall for the nigga, she's not. And it really depends on the sex too,
Yeah.
because sometimes a woman can grow an attachment when it's through good sex, whether it's because she's not getting it at home and
Mm-hmm.
she's getting that itch scratched. So then after a while she starts to become territorial, and then, you know what I'm saying, then those feelings develop for him. But for the most part, I'm sure there's women out here who just busting it open
Yeah.
and they not looking to get attached to nobody because they got a husband at home. I would say more so the modern today's modern day woman would be more so the one who would be unlikely to develop the emotional attachment as fast compared to before, especially because promiscuity is promoted everywhere within our culture. So I know this is long winded, but in today's day and age, I would say the woman wouldn't. It wouldn't be as common as it was before with the woman catching feelings, in my opinion.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nose. Like, times have changed. Like,
Mm-hmm.
just like, homosexuality, being gay was, it was a closet. It was used in the closet, but now it's
Mm-hmm.
old.
Is it?
And I feel like we're getting towards that time where people are polygamous.
Mm-hmm.
It's
That too.
it's it's
Yep.
being it's more common.
Mm-hmm.
It's being accepted. You see it on social media. You see it everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And people they're creating this unapologetic energy where it's like, yo, I'm gonna do what I want to do,
Yep.
how I want to do it.
Yep.
You know,
I agree.
let me tap into some of these comments because I think it depends on why she cheated in the first place. Yeah, some women, they
Mm-hmm.
want to get that lick back. You know,
That too. Yep.
they want to get that lick back because they feel like, you know, they were violated. And
Mm-hmm.
like you just said, they feel an attachment. They might have children with this person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, all different types of reasons. They
Mm-hmm.
might feel financially secure being with this person.
Right.
So yeah,
Yep.
they'll cheat for those reasons.
Yep.
And I feel like, at that point sometimes they can become emotionally
Mm-hmm.
attached. You know,
Mm-hmm.
children
Mm-hmm.
might come into the picture, she might get impregnated. A lot of different things, come into play. Moreover, mhm,
I was gonna say, and sometimes, not to interject, but
yeah,
sometimes the men, it is not as uncommon as we think, where the side dude catches feelings for the woman in the relationship. And sometimes I think, it's my theory, it's because of she's not as available to him, even though she makes her time, they could be intimate or whatever, but she could still never fully be his. So sometimes it's like an ego thing with the man that might kick in, where he might want to be like, let me show her that she's mine, because now it's a thing. And that could stem from like issues or whatever. Who knows why,
mhm,
a person reacts how they do to certain situations. But
mhm,
I have seen times where that side guy,
yeah,
and I'm not saying for me,
yeah,
you know, after last live,
yeah. I
everybody
mean,
said I was just like, yeah, we should just all cheat. Don't be loyal.
yeah, yeah,
But no,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'm saying, like, I've seen instances where that other guy, he catching feelings and he ain't trying to let it go, or maybe he's just being patient and he starts losing his patience, and it's things get sticky.
It's the competition factor. When
Yes,
a man or woman
I think
feels
so
like
too.
they're in competition, I feel like that spices it up.
Right. I
Yeah,
agree.
it spices it up because sometimes women, they might not find you attractive in the beginning. They might not
Hmm.
find you. They might not want you as bad as you want them to. But when they see you with someone else, or when they see someone else digging you, now it's like, oh, I want him. Just like in
All
relationships,
the
you
time.
might not. Yeah,
Yep.
just like in relationships, you
Hmm.
might not be giving your man or your woman that attention, but when you start seeing her stepping out, or you start seeing him stepping out, and that attention starts coming their way, now it's like you want to take control over that person, but
Hmm.
now this woman or this man is already emotionally detached from
Yep.
the situation, and
Yep. Right.
once the mate is emotionally detached, it's a wrap.
Yep. Yep. I agree.
It's a wrap.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? So
Hmm.
that's a that's a sticky thing, and I feel like yeah, we can blame it on Sexy Red, we can blame it on Drake, we can blame it on all of them. We can blame it
They
on all of
blaming
them
on Sexy
because
Red and Drake.
yeah, because you got to remember, like, these people are putting out
Buddy.
music, they're putting out music that we love, the beats, this, that, and the third, and we see it. We see it on Instagram. We see it on TV, and you know, it's it's becoming the norm. What they're doing is the norm.
Because they don't want a
Mhm.
strong household. They would rather
Yeah.
they could tax everybody more when you separated, divorced, single, not in a polygamous relationship. That's what I was saying in the group chat.
Yeah.
Like you see where other countries polygamy isn't looked down on
Mm-hmm.
because it's more cultural
Mm-hmm.
versus in America, it's more an economic thing. So how do they benefit when you just have one breadwinner for the most part? Because in typical polygamy situations, the man usually is a man of like stature, he has wealth, he has money to be able to take care of whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like the shows they have on TLC, a couple of them dudes have some money.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they can't tax, that's less money they can tax when you just have one breadwinner versus it being several.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll take a married wife and a married couple as far as one man, one wife,
Mm-hmm.
but they ain't trying to have him have several wives. Like no, 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 no. They want to tax each individual household separately. So I think that's why more so America looks down on it, and that's why it's reflected in the culture.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not promoting that. That's promiscuity. And then, it's reflected, they're going to use the Bible to back it up. Well, the Bible said, but then again, the Bible also has several chapters that have figures that had several wives or concubines.
Uh-huh.
Like from what I was told, King Solomon and
Yeah.
a few of them, a lot of
Yeah. Yeah.
them had
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
wives or several women.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's just a lot of it is contradictory, but yeah, when it
Yeah.
comes to infidelity, that's
Yeah.
different.
When people like bring up the Bible and different books in the Bible that are in reference to having multiple wives, to my knowledge, there are parts in the Bible that accept it, and there's
Hmm.
certain parts in the Bible that condemn it.
Right,
So it's
right,
like a
right.
flip flop the situation. That's why
Another contradiction, right?
yeah, it's like that's why it's really faith driven because
Hmm.
and it goes, that's why we have different religions. We all lead to one God, and as long as you try to be transparent or what have you, you do the best you can.
Hmm.
Um, to kind of double back to the last pod that we had, addressing some of your situation. Um, did all right. So, what was did you feel like did you feel like he was emotionally attached to the guy that you were seeing? You know, because what I'm trying to say is, did you feel like did you cheat? Is my question. Did you feel like you cheated, or was it a situation where it was like, both parties knew that I was going to see someone else because you want yeah, because my thing is like, did cheating help your situation? Because sometimes cheating can help people's relationships. You
So, just
know.
for transparency, the guy and referring to the jail situation when I
Yeah.
cheated, yes, I do consider it cheating because it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't dish out what I can't take. So, yeah, I take accountability. It was absolutely cheating. And just for transparency, no, the guy in jail didn't know that
An affair.
that I had a relationship with somebody else because I didn't want to hurt him. And it was my intention to really, when he came home, all right, let's like pick up back of where we were before you went in, with of course us building a stronger bond throughout the time, because that's what happens when you do a bid with somebody. You on the phone on every visit, so yeah, in love. And then sometimes things change. So for me, I think I kind of justified it, like, okay, I don't, not, I won't say I justified it, but for me, no, fuck it. I think I did kind of justify it. I was young and felt like I didn't know, it wasn't certain that things were going to work out when he came home.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't want to necessarily put my life
Oh,
on hold
yeah.
being so young, but I know that he's who I wanted to be with. So I wouldn't have cheated on him when he came home, but it was like, I did develop the emotional attachment because he was filling a part that I felt unfulfilled in when it came to companionship. and company and having a physical person that could hug me and show me love and affection, because I was missing that. And that wasn't my ex that was in jail, wasn't his fault. But I knew if I was locked up, you think he would have been sitting? And not that to say it's not that it's possible that it didn't happen, because we say Papoose possibly did it, right? But what I say is, we don't know that for certain that Papoose didn't get any cutty while Remy was locked up. We just know that he did it right, as he should have. I don't believe that woman ever felt like he cheated. It wasn't publicized that he was stepping out while Remy was locked up. So he did it how he should have. I felt like, out of respect, if that was something he was going to do, it was going to be kept quiet. He did what he did. It was just to satisfy whatever craving he had, because his loyalty was for Remy. That's how I see the situation, or that's how I saw the situation back then. Like, it had absolutely nothing to do with my love for him. I just was lacking that. So he fulfilled it, but I let him know in advance where my heart really was. So I did have feelings for him, but ultimately it wasn't enough to break his heart, the one that was in jail. I wasn't going to break his heart. And I knew that I was taking that risk by cheating. But again, I did my dirt how I was supposed to. He still don't know to this day. You know what I'm saying? Because, and he's asked questions. He wasn't no dummy. And of course I lied. No, I'm not going to fuck with nobody else. I'm going to wait for you. Because again, it was understanding this man and his ego. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you something that's going to hurt you to sabotage some shit when I know it's just because your ego couldn't handle it. And I respect that. So it was a choice that I made. But yes, I did catch an emotional attachment to the other guy, because again, he fulfilled something that I was lacking with who I really wanted to be with. If that answers your question.
Yeah. And I mean, did it help your relationship with the brother who was locked up? Did it help the situation?
When he came home, he did cheat. And I kind of took that on the chin. When I found out he was cheating, he didn't know it, but I stayed because I took it on the chin. All right, you trying to play catch up. Again, this is when we were younger, so he got a younger mindset. He'd been sitting down for a few years, so I did understand he wanted to play catch up. It was disappointing, but there was a side of me that was just like, I never told him this, but I'm gonna let you rock with that one. But it just, it happened more than once. So now it was like, oh, goddamn, all right, this is my karma and I'm going to eat that. But again, I still never let him know that, you know, that's okay. Like, all right, because he never had to experience that from me. That hurt of knowing, like, okay, I stepped out or whatever. So again, I ate that, but I ate it only because I know I had Shorty when he was locked up. So I took my karma. I felt like I got karma for it, but, you know. I know, to answer your question, I don't feel like it helped anything. I felt like it just kind of was like, well, I see why I ain't just sitting. I could, you understand? Like, I see why I did what I did, because if I didn't cheat and he would have came home, he wasn't fucking around when he came home because he thought I was moving funny. He didn't suspect anything because I did what I was supposed to do. I moved how I was supposed to move. You know what I'm saying? To keep it that way. But when he came home, it wasn't the same. You was sloppy. So that's more so I was upset. You sloppy with the shit. You understand what I'm saying? Now I'm pregnant. It's like, come on.
Yeah, our brothers on the live are saying how it's part of the game. You know,
Especially when you locked up.
You know, that how he said his uncle, you know, after a certain time, he wouldn't call his wife. You know, because like you said, you know, if you was in his shoes, you would want your woman to say, hey, listen, I'm going to do what I got to do, you know, but
Right.
my heart is with the brother who
Homeboy.
is
And it was
locked up,
absolutely.
you know. And one of the brothers who commented on it, he had just came home, you know, not too long ago, and he said it's respectable. He said it's respectable. A lot of brothers live by those morals. You know, if they're doing 15, 20 years or whatever the case in jail, you know, they don't want their wife to be home going through certain different things or whatever the case is. They would rather a woman do them, but be respectful to their legacy
Right.
or be respectful to
Right.
them, because people know, they probably know them in the street, they probably know them in the areas, whatever
Right.
the case
Don't
is.
be having him look out here
So
looking crazy and
looking crazy.
stupid. Exactly.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So you know, it's a thin line.
Mm-hmm.
I must say, you know, situations like that are a thin line. And sometimes cheating could be, you know, it could be kind of, it, you know, some women cheat and they be like, damn, I'm gonna stay with my dude. Like this ain't what, you know,
Mm-hmm.
that's what I kind of mean. It could, it's like a catch-22. It can help your situation sometimes, because even with brothers, you know, sometimes, we might feel like we want a piece of action that's outside, you know, but then when you get a piece of that action, you be like, damn, man, I'm glad what I got at home is good.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Like I'm
like
not missing nothing out here. Right.
I'm not missing nothing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not missing
Right.
nothing. You know, so it's
Mm-hmm.
definitely a catch
Yeah.
22 when it comes to that. And no, you know, nobody's perfect. You know, people they slip up, you know, for whatever reason, and they do what they do.
I
You
just
know,
feel like you say, just don't have. I mean, if you really respect your partner, but you
mhm,
decided to step out for whatever reason, lack of fulfillment, or you just had to have whatever, maybe it's the thrill of the chase and the thrill of the kill for you,
mhm.
whatever it is, just don't violate your
Yeah,
partner. For
yeah,
all of that, then break up. Like, don't have nobody out
yeah.
here looking stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I feel like when I say I didn't violate. I'm not going to
Mhm.
embarrass you. I would never speak with your friends, people you know, people that know your people.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? I'm not going to be outside just prancing around, just all, in public and all that. I'm not going to violate. I wouldn't, you know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So again, I guess that's based on, everyone's different definition of what violating is. But for me, that's what it was. I wasn't going to violate. And by doing the things I just mentioned, I
Mhm.
felt like that's ODing. Like, don't
Yeah.
violate me. Don't try to make me look stupid. Don't have me out here looking stupid. Don't sleep with nobody I know, because now you're crossing a line. Some things you just can't come back from. And a lot of women and some men, they could probably overlook maybe once or even twice. But if you just keep doing it, you don't want to be in a relationship. You just want someone out of comfort. I
But
mean, I don't know. I guess it
but
depends on the situation,
I
but
mean, I feel like these days women are more accepting to their significant other cheating, as long as they know
Mhm.
it's not on Front Street.
And I think also it could have to do with comfort. The
Mhm.
dating pool is just
Yeah,
disgusting
I'm
out
hearing
here.
that.
Like,
Yeah, it's a lot. Not,
so
not worth it.
sometimes it's like I don't want to start all over again. This is who I know. He get on my nerves. I get on his nerves. Whatever the case may be for the
Yeah,
individual, and it's just like people they feel justified in saying, "Well, in saying I stayed because who wants to
X, Y,
start all
Z.
over again?"
Yeah.
So I think it really just depends. It depends on the person what they could tolerate.
Hmm. Yeah, statistics. Like, you know, you leave one guy, the chances of him cheating, the next guy cheating, is going to be very high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, you don't want to start over again.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's,
It's
I
rare you
think
find a
that's the big
unicorn in a
picture,
person.
huh?
I said it's rare you find like a unicorn in a person, like you're not like the rest. It's
Yeah,
very rare you find a unicorn with someone who's not out here moving like the average person, or it's just that whole mundane, repetitive thing. Sometimes you see, it's like, no,
hmm,
who wants to deal with that? That's why I guess I was just on some shit like, man, I'd rather not even roll the dice. Let
hmm,
me just pick it to myself, because who wants that?
yeah,
I know I don't.
and yeah, and it's crazy because, you know, you have men and women that cheat for different reasons,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
You have some men that cheat because they might not be getting the respect that they want, or
Mm-hmm.
they might not be receiving the attention that they get from another woman.
Mm-hmm.
Case
Right.
in point, case in point, you know, we saw a meme, and it said, um, should the children receive a plate before the man of the house?
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? So all in all, like I had a conversation with one of my coworkers today, and he said that happened at a family dinner one time where
Mhm.
his cousin, uh, his cousin's wife gave the children their food first, and
Mhm.
his male cousin got tight at his wife, like, "Yo, where's my plate at?"
Mm.
You
Mm.
know, so
Mhm.
we have certain it's easily can be a cultural thing
Mhm. For
why
sure.
women and men act a certain way.
Mhm.
So a social norm is a man providing, protecting, and
Mhm.
providing for the family,
Mhm.
right? Woman's norm is to nurture,
Mhm.
and we don't want
Manage.
to sit manage. Let's use a
Mhm.
proper terminology, manage. So of course, these days, you have certain women that don't want to live by those norms because they feel like they're not nobody's slave. They don't want to be submissive or whatever the
Mhm.
case is.
Mhm.
But then you have certain women that live by those social norms because
Mhm.
that's how they were raised.
Mhm.
And,
Mhm.
and from my experience, you know, you don't see too many African American women who live by those norms. Those
Mhm.
social you rarely you mainly see like women who are from like uh Africa or
Mhm.
like the West Indies, like certain countries, you might see that, but
Mhm.
you rarely see our sisters living by those norms.
Mhm.
And you know, I get it.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with changing the narrative. Like, listen, this is a 50-50 thing.
Mhm.
You help out with the
Mhm.
dishes someday, I help out with the dishes the other day. You like
Mhm.
we like meet me halfway. Like
Right.
Cam said in his freestyle the other day. meet
That was hilarious.
meet me halfway.
Mhm.
Meet me halfway. But
Mhm.
let's not totally forget about what we're here for. Like, let's not, I think some women, they just like totally dismiss, you know, cleaning up after the man. Like when he finishes his plate, taking the plate off the table.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah.
when he comes home from work or whatever the case is, making his plate, bringing it to the table or whatever the case is. Like some women dismiss that. And
Yeah.
I feel like, women who are like more successful, the women who are like up in their careers and they're more successful, they're making all this money, those are the
Mhm.
ones who kind of forget where though they disconnect
The
with
old
those
school
morals.
traditional.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and that's why and that's probably, I think that's why, I could be wrong, you know, I could be wrong, but that's why you see a lot of these successful actresses and celebrities. I won't name any
Mhm.
names. They done been married 4, 5, 6
Mhm.
times, or single.
Mhm. Right.
And I'm not going. You can name the names. You can knock yourself out, but I can name 5 right now who are some of the richest women in the world, black women in the world, and they don't have husbands. They might not even have kids. Because sometimes like it could be it could be a power. Some of them have power trips. They have
Absolutely. Mhm.
and I'm all for people wanting to follow their dreams and all, but I think that there needs to be a message given to the younger generation, like, hey, listen, these are ways you need to live by. These
Yeah.
are I was at work I was eating lunch the other day at my job in a lounge, and this African young lady, she sat down and she's eating or what have you. So African food can have like a little stench to it, right? So I was a little alarmed. Like, I'm not eating whatever she's about to offer me. I'm just gonna politely say no, right? But the lane in me was like, how bad could it be, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was like a turkey leg or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
I said a quiet prayer and I ate it, and young lady too. She could have been older than 30 years old. So 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 I ate the turkey leg. It was either turkey or chicken, one of them. You know, so I just know it wasn't pork.
Uh-huh.
So I ate it, finished it, and I put it down on the plate. So we're still talking, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
a plate she gave me,
Right.
right? As we're talking, she took the plate away from me,
Mm-hmm.
as if she was gonna like throw it away, and
Mm-hmm.
like she cleared my part of the table, and I as an
Yeah.
African American man, I'm like, oh snap, like
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? And I had to tell her, like, we kept talking for a minute, and then I was like, let me tell you something. I was like, what you did just now was, I felt golden. I See, I'm on some other shit. I'm on some Philly shit, right?
He
Like I
made you
felt,
feel like Eddie Murphy and Coming to America, huh? Like
yeah,
whatever you like.
yo, dead
She took your
ass.
plate.
Took my plate, and I was like, yo, I was like, men, I said, we appreciate the little things like that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
and I see why.
Saying, we
Mm-hmm.
appreciate the little things like that, and it makes us go far and wide.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to, and I said, what did you? I said, she was like, listen, she was like, Lane, she was like, that's how I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I was
That's what I was
raised.
gonna
She
say.
said,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she said that's how my mother raised me. She said, yes, this is why a lot of brothers are getting passports. Yes, they're going to Dominican Republic, they're going to all these different countries where black men are treated like kings, right? So she's like, Rain, she was like, this is how my grandmother treated us. She said a lot of her African sisters, they
Mm-hmm.
came to America and became
Young.
modernized, and
Mm-hmm.
they
Yeah.
forget where they came from.
Mm-hmm.
And that really stuck with me.
Mm-hmm.
It really stuck with me. Um, to the point where I had a conversation with my girlfriend. I was like, yo, I was like, and I held this in for like a week. I ain't gonna hold you, cause like, son, you listen. You can't bring this up with. You can't just be throwing anything at sisters. You might get. Listen. We don't. There's no domestic violence, but it could have went left. Things can go left when you say certain things to our sisters. So one day we in a car, and I'm like, yo, man. I was like, this girl, my job. I told the story, and I think that same night when she cooked me, she made something for me or whatever. She took my plate and gave me like this look. She took the plate after I ate and gave me this look or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So I mean,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
yeah. My girlfriend, she has like a master's and like all these different licenses and stuff like that. So,
Mm-hmm.
she's a, successful young lady, and I know sometimes, as especially as a black woman, when you're working so hard and things like you might, I'm not gonna say you forget, but
Mm-hmm.
sometimes you might just not be connected, you know what I'm saying, in certain
Mm-hmm.
ways,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Um, so, to double back, she said like this woman, she was like, yo, some of her African sisters are disconnected. They have
Mm-hmm.
become modernized after coming to America,
Mm-hmm.
right? Wow, that's like a
Mm-hmm.
shameless plug for the movie. After
Coming to
coming
America.
after coming to America, they became, modernized, and they're not who they used to be,
Mm-hmm.
and I think if women, if they had those morals, you know, I feel like a man, he would like really like go far and beyond, do extra. It's kind of like, when I saw a clip the other day, and a woman said, she said, um, what could a woman do for a man, right? To
Mm-hmm.
show her appreciation other than giving him oral sex.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right.
And
And it was like men only. They only wanted like the comments from men to
yeah,
speak in it. I
yeah,
think I saw that or
yeah,
something like that. Mm-hmm.
yeah. Like what could a woman do
Mm-hmm.
other than that? And after experiencing something like that, I was like, wow. I was like, yo, just coming home from work, and a woman just, babe, here, let me take your shoes off.
I saw that a lot. I saw that a lot in the
Let
comments.
me take your
Mm-hmm.
shoes off. You know, let me cook you some dinner. You know, make the
Mm-hmm.
plate for you. Take the plate off the table. Like
Mm-hmm.
these different things. And I think it's like my brother just said. This is why a lot of black men are they're getting those stamps and those passports, and they're going into DR, and they're just living it up.
For how long? Because yeah,
Yeah,
Daryl, they getting their passports, but y'all forget they seeing y'all as golden tickets.
that too.
So
Yeah,
they trying to sell you the dream they think you want to hear because guess what? They want to come back to America or they want to live the American lifestyle where they could do the
yeah,
same turn around and do the same thing that the Americanized woman is doing. The other Americanized woman from other countries are
yeah,
doing. So
yeah.
even when you said
Mhm,
down to the young African lady, and that's
mhm,
absolutely become the norm within American culture.
mhm,
And we know that's due to feminism that was pushed in the household, the divide of the black household. It's the same thing we talk about all the time. Feminism came in and told the woman, if your man isn't providing for you or isn't giving you the life that you want, now is he holding you back? What's the problem? So here, we'll give you this. We'll help you out. You could get more. You don't have to worry about the struggle if you just push him out the way. So then you made her lose respect for the man in her household. And then whether he had to go to war or came from war and couldn't get a job or due to different a variety of issues, whether mental, psychological, emotional, or whatever, financial, maybe was lack of certain educations for a certain point or discrimination. You had all these things where there was this whole movement meant to diminish the black man.
mhm,
So now here we are, we see the result of that, where you have men who their plate isn't even collected from the table,
mhm.
or
Yeah,
in certain instances, they're not fed first. Now, out to go back to that,
yeah.
I would say I think that is an individual thing because I myself have asked several of my male friends that have children and
Mhm,
have asked them, when you eat, do you feel a way if your lady or the mother of the children feed them first before you?
mhm,
And including my the two guys that I have children with, the two men I have children with, it was always agreed if I came to them with a plate first before I fed these babies, they were looking at me crazy.
mhm,
Where's their food? You know what I mean? Because it's not a thing where they saw it as I was overlooking them or not appreciating them, but it's like they gotta eat. Like this is why I'm working so they can eat. Let's feed them first. I'm gonna eat. You know what I'm saying? And understanding
mhm,
remember and Chris Rock special where he was
mhm,
like, the daddy don't get no respect. The mama lose her mind if someone ate the big piece of chicken. You know that's
mhm,
for your daddy. You know that's for the big piece of chicken. Oh, let's
mhm.
sew two pieces of chicken together because understanding that this is for dad. So it's more so I think a preference where you have men, and that could be a cultural thing too. Even with Spanish households, I would say that I wouldn't be surprised if a Spanish woman would go and make sure her man eats first before the children. And that's not to say that she's pushing him to the side, but that's a cultural thing. I
Yeah,
understand the role he plays, and I'm going to feed him first. Now, it's not to say that black women or American women don't see their man as important, but sometimes I think it's a thing of the kids got to eat. It's not
mhm,
like I'm gonna give them all the food and then it's like, oh well, shit, the kids ate and I ain't make sure you eat. No, shame on the person that would do
mhm.
that. But I think more so, especially if they're smaller children,
Yeah,
they have to eat. I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna eat, but make sure they eat. So I would think that goes back to that. Now, when it goes to the woman who won't collect her man's plate or may not necessarily cater to him, for lack of a better term, again, I do think also that's cultural.
mhm,
American women were because of feminism. Feminism came in and made all women, not just black women, but made a lot of women feel like, take your power. He can't tell you what to do. We've been told what to do for years, 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 years. Now I understand it, how they tried to push it, which was, you aren't less of a human with, like, you're not any less deserving of rights because you're a woman and he's the man. But it was manipulative in making it seem like that was the intention, when the intention was it was really to create a divide. Let's get in her mind and start planting seeds. And you don't need him. You could do it. Why are you serving him? You've been up all day cooking, cleaning. You work just as hard. And he comes home. You know, that was seeds planted to start dividing the household. So now it's so deeply rooted where you have other cultures who are looking. So now you have today's man where he's looking for that. Maybe he wants that. He's never experienced it. Or maybe he did see his mother. His mother was a church-fearing woman. You know, she was raised under the Bible and under church, where you're more likely to be taught that from, you know, people who attend church more consistently versus someone who is more liberal and that wasn't enforced. Maybe you grew up in a single woman household and you didn't see no man being served, so you didn't think that's what you should do. Maybe you got daddy issues, so you go above and beyond to show your man, oh, I'm going to cater to you, I'm going to serve you. It could be a variety of things, but I think that it comes again back to culture. I think America, who's to say we'll even see it in this lifetime, but I think America should focus on family again. And which is why I don't necessarily lean towards the Democratic Party when it comes to some of their morals, because Democrats will more so, they make it seem like, okay, they're for the poor people, right? But what do they go for and push for as far as when it comes to low income and poor people? We'll give you assistance, we'll give you help, we'll give you programs. Whereas you have single mothers, you know, all these women who are struggling. You have all these broken households, but they manage to get by because they're getting Section 8, they're getting welfare, whether it's cash, child support, or whatever, right? And that's through a system. That's through the government. So now when I benefit from these things, I see where, okay, they're helping me, versus Republicans who are more conservative. They're more about the family and that dynamic. And no, we're not going to rely on the outside party, because you're more likely to have a 2-parent household who is going to, you know, make sure that we're doing this because we're thinking more about legacy.
Yeah.
So again, I think that's where America, we need to come back to. Look at the average household in America. We can't say that it's common to see a married couple that has been married for decades. Those are dying off.
Yeah.
You know, it's more likely to see, like, even if you were with someone since high school and y'all got a kid going to college now, based on our age range, it's like, are they still together? How many of those couples do you still see together? That's common. You may have some, a sprinkle or two, but now they're rare. Because it's promoted to break up and you raising kids on your own and shit like that. So it's like, I think we need to get back to the core ethics and values when it comes to family and keeping it strong. Whether we going through something and we cheating, we still in the same household. There's your food on the stove or whatever. You know, we still all holding each other down and still kind of bringing that conservatism back, versus fuck it, let's just go party, thought, and I'll fuck some niggas I don't know, and then I'll just go have an abortion the next 3 times I get pregnant, because I ain't having these niggas babies, so I'll just have an abortion. You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of lifestyle is that to have? Plan B, people are using abortion and Plan Bs as birth control. The abortion industry is a $1 billion industry. Do you know how much money they make off the abortions? And who do you think are the top women having those abortions? Not the bitches serving plates to their man, not the ones who's collecting his plate. These are the sexy red militia bitches outside. And then popping Plan Bs and having Percocet, penicillin, and Plan Bs in their purses. Like, that's their party weekend. No, we got to get back to, okay, letting our woman know it's not a bad thing that you want to play the woman of the household and you want to make your man feel like, I'm playing that woman role to support you. You support me, I support you. Yes, I'll take your plate. Sometimes you might have to take your own plate, but for the most part, give me that. You know what I'm saying? I think we need to bring more of that kind of values back, then normalize, nigga, I'm not cleaning after you. Like, you know what I'm saying? And he didn't bust his ass. He is paying the bills, whether he's paying all of them or half. Now, if you're paying half the bills, you're gonna have to take your plate half the times too. You only paying half the fucking bill. So you better be washing dishes in this motherfucker too. But wash dishes on your day off.
Yeah,
Like clean up. Let me come home
yeah,
to a clean house too if I gotta work and we
yeah.
split in half. Do
But
your
we're
part
not.
too.
But remember, we're talking about the woman who, before you even get to that stage, before you even get to the stage of living with a woman or being married
Mm-hmm.
or paying half their bills or paying this, that. We're talking about the dating stage. We're talking about the stage
Mm-hmm.
before you
Mm-hmm.
have kids, the stage before you're married.
That should be
This
the
is,
honeymoon, the early honeymoon phase.
but
That's when y'all trying to impress each other. So I would be surprised a woman wouldn't try to throw an extra
no,
razzle dazzle like I'm wife material.
but it
You should
has to,
want to invest in
but it
me.
has to be consistent though.
I agree on both sides. And I agree that should be for both sides. Like if we're both courting, okay, well, they say the man should court, but I feel like women should do their own version of courting too. Right? So if we're dating and if there's a man who is courting me, meaning, he wants to take me out and he's not expecting me to pay, or he wants to just do things to show me like, he's the how he's a masculine man and how he I can feel protected and safe and loved with him, then I think that as a woman, I absolutely should do my own version of courting for him. So let's say if we're going out and you want to pay, you paid for the last meal. Okay, well, let me take care of this one. I
Mhm.
don't feel like that's me setting it up like, oh, I feel like, I'm showing you like it don't always have to be on you. But again, that's building a 50-50 dynamic where it's kind of like establishing like you do it, but I can do it for you too. I
Okay.
feel like that leads to a 50-50
Yeah,
dynamic.
and then we're also talking about the people who are in relationships who are they've been together for years or whatever the case is, you know, not married,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that the woman should be consistent with playing that role
I
of
agree.
yeah,
Because if it ain't broke, but is it she's not consistent because there's certain factors that play into that? Is she feeling ignored? Is it something? Because that could be a number of reasons why she stops her
that,
consistency.
that's
Like,
who
well,
should
I'm
be
not doing for
flaring.
this nigga no more, and he come home and don't even look at me. We sleeping in different. Sometimes he don't even
Yeah.
come to bed. He's sleeping on the couch. I'm sleeping. So maybe could it be that that's why her consistency stopped, or is it just because she got bored? Now she needs a wake up call. If you want him to keep coming home to you, then you're gonna have to pick it. If he hasn't stopped what he's doing on his end, then she absolutely shouldn't stop what she's doing on hers. She should absolutely be consistent, but it should be matched. It should be that, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
I
think.
feel you. I feel you. Um, because if a woman's not happy in a relationship, you just gotta. I feel that if you can't be your full self, you understand what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Then just don't be in a relationship.
I agree. We wasting time, like, just to say you have, and I
You
guess that's
know?
what it is. People just want to say they have somebody these days. I guess it beats being lonely, but I don't want to be lonely in a relationship. You can absolutely be lonely in a relationship. That's no fun to
Yeah.
me. Like, you ain't doing me no favors.
Mm-hmm.
No, no, thank you.
Yeah. I think that's the reason why a lot of brothers, and until we change that, we get back to those social norms of
Mm-hmm.
women, catering to the man and
Mm-hmm.
being that to the man. There's going to be a lot of divorces and a lot of single men out here and single women.
And single woman.
You understand what I'm saying? Like we got to
Mm-hmm.
get back to those ways because it's the little things you know, that make a difference.
Mm-hmm. And that's what keeps the passion alive, or the love, or the loyalty, or the desire to even stay committed to something. It's like, okay, you may have a couple where the man has a wandering eye, whatever the case may be, but he would absolutely not try to replace his wife for nobody because he knows there's nobody that could replace her after her being consistent or just everything she's done for him. Whether it was rolled through him with tough times, the highs, the lows, maybe when he was broke, she held it down, whatever. I think that those are the relationships that are worthy of fighting for and, trying to make the effort to make it work. Whereas it's not as easy to walk away. That's not
Let me
something I would walk away
ask you a
from.
question.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think the modern day woman is cooking less in a household?
Yeah, for sure. With the convenience, especially if she's a single mother and she works full time. There's women who,
No, not
like my best
not
friend.
even the single mothers. Just I mean, not they don't have to be parents. We're just talking about women.
Yeah, for sure, because you have the convenience of everything is instant, 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 instant. Your food is instant. When it's just you by yourself, sometimes it's now these days it's kind of cheaper to buy takeout. Whereas depending on what you buy, do you have enough leftovers to eat for dinner if you bought something for lunch versus cooking a whole meal? Then you have shit. Yeah, because these days groceries are expensive. It's damn near just as expensive as ordering takeout. But for the most part, yeah, single woman. When you don't have nobody to cook for yourself, it's easy to just stop at a fast food or some kind of restaurant and just order food for just yourself. Why cook? Now you know it's only you in the house. Less dishes I have to wash. I don't have to worry about that. I could just toss out whatever I need, whatever food I order. I could take to lunch tomorrow. Different reasons, but for the most part, yeah, I would say women are cooking less, and I would say men are cooking more.
Mm.
I would say, from my observation, men are cooking more, especially single men, not the ones in relationships, but single men. I would say they're definitely, yeah, I would say definitely they're cooking more. And I think that could be money, realizing ordering takeout all the time is expensive and might as well make your own food. I know to cook how I like it. Different reasons. Maybe you're a parent, so a single parent yourself, so you got to cook when the kids come over. But yeah, I've noticed men cooking more and women cooking less.
Do you feel like the women who are cooking more have the most attraction to men?
Like, are men more
Or
attracted to the
more
woman
attracted
cooking more?
to the women that cook more? Yeah.
I think in certain aspects, yes, especially with older men. Younger men, I feel like they,
Yeah, they
whatever,
go
especially
to
this
Wendy's. They
generation.
go to Wendy's and get a 4 for 4.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I think, again, our generation, maybe the ones right after that, they could more so appreciate the woman who's gonna cook and that will cook for them because it's like, oh, you gonna cook? Yeah, I'm coming over. You make me a plate. Like,
But
I would say that's
keyword,
definitely more
keyword,
attractive.
keyword. Yeah, I'm coming over.
Right,
You
right.
ain't got listen. If you cooking, you do not have to beg a man to come
Yeah.
over.
And if you do, then leave that nigga alone. What you begging for? Please. Begging nobody. Mm-mm.
Oh,
But
shit.
I would say for sure, yeah, that would make a woman, especially because again, these days women aren't cooking like that. So it's the first question you would get is like, okay, can she really cook? Let me see if she could really cook. Now, if she could cook, you might have a man after that because he really probably be like, okay, and she could cook, and
Yeah,
then you have other chemistry in other places.
yeah,
He's still gonna cheat, but you might have just moved yourself up a couple of notches in his
yeah,
selector.
yeah. Lord Jesus. Yeah, we just got to get back to those to the essence, man. The essence of
Hmm.
relationships, the essence of like my father said the other day. He said something about a woman cooking, and he was like, "Yeah, that's the key to a man's heart."
Hmm. And that's always been an old school hearing that I've heard,
Yeah,
an old school saying that I've heard. Way to a man's heart is through his plate and through his food, through his belly.
yeah, yeah. Respectfully, he said that's one of the reasons why I remarried. You understand what I'm saying?
Because of the
Because
food.
you
Hmm.
marry a woman, you marry someone who could cook.
Especially if she could cook in all facets. If she do what she need to do in all facets, might have yourself a
Mhm.
husband there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's important, man. It's important.
Hmm.
Marriage is important. Relationships, valuing them is important. So our brother Diddy, man. I was watching. I followed young brother Cashflow. Cashflow was actually on my podcast back in 2018.
Oh, okay.
In 2018, yeah, he definitely. Yeah, he came. He came. This is when we was recording in Harlem. He came to
Mm-hmm.
our location. Shout out to Black Fred, who's his manager, who lined it up for me. He the Harlem connection. So he has like these stories that he's telling on his Instagram page. He's on
Mm-hmm.
part 4 right now.
Oh, I didn't see past part 2. Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So, part 2. So part 3, I believe, let me go to his page right now. So part 3 is talking about Jodeci
Okay.
when he was down. It says when he was down with Jodeci. Um, uh, let me see. Same game, that crew he was down with or whatever. Um, but for part 4, what really got to me was at the end. There's a picture of Suge Knight and Justin on the living room
Mm-hmm.
floor, like they was playing together or something. And it just, yeah, man. Our hip hop history is so messy.
What did it say about Suge and Justin?
No, it's a picture of them on the floor playing.
So, but what did he say? Like, why would Suge be playing with Justin? This was during the whole East Coast West Coast
This is
beef.
I think this is before the beef.
Hmm.
This is before because you gotta remember at one point they was cool.
Right. Right.
Suge Knight and all them, Puffy and
Okay.
them
Okay.
dudes, them
Okay.
dudes was cool.
Okay.
Look at this dog. Let me see. Look at this.
Get the fuck out of here.
You understand what I'm saying?
Mm.
So they
Mm.
was all cool at one point, and
Mm-hmm.
they say sometimes, because of women or egos or whatever the case is. But it's a very, very messy situation. You
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying? They're trying to connect Diddy to Tupac's murder,
Mm-hmm.
they're
PPD
saying
did
that,
that.
huh?
I said Keepy D did that on
Well,
Vlad.
yeah, he's been doing that for years. He's been lining that
Yeah.
up for years. Um, they're also saying that Tupac's family hired this Shapiro dude.
Mm.
I think his name is Alex Shapiro to investigate and to also try to line up Diddy with the Tupac.
Mm.
Now, the Shapiro guy is Jay-Z's lawyer.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? He's Rock Nation's lawyer. He's the one that helped out 21 Savage and
Mm.
whatever the case is. So my whole thing is like, why is this guy working against Diddy? You know, so it's this thing is all messy, man. You know,
Mm. Mm. Mm.
there's a lot of stories going on YouTube that are trying to line Diddy up with the Tupac murder or whatever the case is, and
Mm. Mm.
so
Mm.
we see they denied his bail for
Yeah.
the third time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and everybody was to court, his moms, his kids. You understand what I'm saying? Um, I saw something on YouTube today, a young lady who said she was at the some one of those Diddy parties, and she has pictures and videos and stuff like
Oh,
that. And the
was it
stuff
on
she said,
Soft White Underbelly?
it was a black sister. She's like skinny or whatever the
Was
case
it a
is.
like a black and white interview? And
No, you can see her
that wasn't
face.
it?
You can see her face.
No, this one you could see her face too, but it's like it was record like I guess the way they edited it, they have it black and white. Is this guy? His name is forgot his name, but the name of his series is called Soft White Underbelly, and he
Yeah,
often interviews like people like prostitutes in the street. And the one I just saw was posted earlier was a black girl. She looked kind of slim, and she
yeah.
was like that. She has pictures of being at his parties, and I just was like,
I
I don't
think
even want to
I
watch it.
think that might
So I
be
wonder
her
if that's the same
because
one. Yeah.
I think that might be
Maybe not
her.
the same interview, but the same female, maybe. I don't
It might
know.
be it might be her because she made jokes about that she would have charged for this or for sex or something she was saying. So um I don't know. I just know that
Mm.
that's going to be, and then his court date isn't until May of next year. So
I'm
I
not
really
surprised.
think
This is a
that has
federal
to,
case, and I
yeah.
feel like they're just trying to tie up all the loose ends. But I'm annoyed by the
Mm-hmm.
everything Diddy, 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 Diddy. All these references, everything is Diddy part. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's doing what it was supposed to do,
Mm-hmm.
basically. So when we say, okay, clearly his case is a distraction, that's exactly what it's doing because it's the most talked about thing in
Mm-hmm.
pop culture right now. Even on the news, everyone wants this footage. They're waiting for every detail to come out because they know this is going to be one of the cases of the century
Mm-hmm.
when this nigga is tried. But what it clearly is yes, I do think he did a lot of slime ball stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He's not innocent, he's not an angel, but clearly you can see that he has been thrown in the lion's den for the entertainment. He's been thrown in the lion's den. It's not even a thing of buck breaking at this point. He's
Mm-hmm.
been tossed in there. So everything coming out the woodwork is kind of like I'm not surprised by it, but at the same time, I'm just like it's like they're really just trying to cement just painting him in this bad picture. And again, I'm not saying he didn't do this shit, but it's like half of me is like, y'all really waited for one person
Mm-hmm.
to like open the floodgates. And if in my conspiracy theory mind, I feel like somebody approached Cassie and was like, hey, we want you to line this nigga
This
up.
is
We
why
got
they said
something planned, whatever. That's why she was chosen to be the catalyst because they knew she could break that seal because he was untouchable for a long time. Not untouchable, clearly he wasn't, but I mean, he had that advantage and that was his weakness. It was her doing the foul, messed up stuff he was doing. It's like, boom, now we got him.
mm-hmm.
So now I don't believe every single thing that's being said about him, but I don't put a lot of things past him. But it's like a circus show at this point.
Yeah.
Like, it's not entertaining.
This is
It's sad and it's messed
this
up.
is why they said they're trying to get the video of of him beating up Cassie. They're trying to
I heard the Warriors, yeah, they were
yeah.
arguing to have it
Yeah, they don't
removed.
yeah, they want to remove from the trial
It's too
because
late.
if the judge allows them to have that removed from the trial because they saying that video was leaked,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then that
Mm-hmm.
can change the whole spectrum of this whole case, and this he might be let free because yeah, yeah,
I
because
think that would happen.
without the video, what do you have?
He had to pair out before that video came out. So they got more than the video. The video on top of whatever loose ends they're solidifying. That's why they're getting so many. They have a hotline where people could call if you were a victim of him, blah blah blah. Like it's a friggin' mesothelioma or asbestos. Remember back in the day they used to have the
Yeah,
asbestos commercial.
yeah,
If you think you were exposed to lead paint, asbestos, whatever, the
right.
hotline they have one for him. At this point, it's like, okay, we get it. He's guilty. And they're doing that purposely for the case of public opinion. So
Oh yeah.
regardless, even if they got that tape, okay, you may have won the battle, but that's not making him win the war. They've already tainted him so bad to where now it's popular to say something like no Diddy or oh,
Yeah.
you went to those Diddy parties where they're making jokes about it. You can't scroll without seeing some kind of mention or reference in a song, TV, or social media. They are railroading him so that they could get that video removed and thrown out all they want. It's too late. It's too late now. If he was able to get that case turned in his favor by miracle,
Mm-hmm.
what you think he would have had to do to get that done?
Yeah.
Because he is not. This is a federal case where they have what's the statistics of their prosecutions, their
Like
convictions,
98% or something
90
like that.
something percent.
Yeah, it's high 90s. Yeah.
Now you are a person that's high ranking. You are seen to some people as the elite or someone who at least could rub elbows with the elite, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you, with all your money and stature, you couldn't get certain things removed and certain things tucked away and you know what I'm saying in your favor,
Mm-hmm.
it's too late. They are
Yeah.
gunning for him. They gunning for him. We might as well, man. Let me not speak because I don't like to cast spells over nobody else's life, but it's not looking good. And I'm not a lawyer, but that's just my opinion. It ain't
Yeah.
looking good for Puffy.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
They got a
Um,
hotline, Lamont. A hotline.
yeah.
Call this number. What?
And that girl Jaguar Wright, she's something else too, man. She's trying to throw all of them under the bus. She tried to throw Hove under the bus. They
She
end up
been throwing him. And the thing is,
yeah.
she been doing it. She
Uh-huh.
been doing this shit for years, not just within the past couple of years, for years. To anybody who would listen, and she was being dismissed. Now she has people's attention because this shit is being publicized, and she was calling a lot of this shit from years ago. However, with Jaguar Wright, I think she's riding off the high that she's had the past few years of, well, she called it. Because it's like the extra dramatic she does, like
Yeah.
she'll be like, he didn't do it because he couldn't do it. Like, she is like she's almost reading a monologue.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? Like she's trying to
Respect,
sell the
respect.
drama, and she
Yeah,
knows that right now she's one of the most sought women to interview because everybody wants her to spill it. Give us the tea. What you've been saying. So
yeah,
she's riding that high that she's going through, but that's not to discredit her. She called it.
yeah.
She called it.
She
She been
called
saying it
it.
for
She
years.
called it, and that kid Orlando Brown called it.
Him. There's another guy. He's a white guy named Isaac Cappy. He was one who was the same thing she's been saying. It's not. That's what I said. It's not just Puffy. This is something that was the norm. He was calling it out with Tom Hanks. Who else? The guy who was the he was like a major producer on Nickelodeon, and they just did a whole documentary over him. Dan
Yeah,
Schneider,
yeah, yeah,
the guy
yeah.
that
He
used to be
said
on
white
Head of the
dude.
Class.
Yeah,
Him. He was talking about him. A lot of the Harvey Weinsteins saying what they do. And he didn't say anything different outside of what Puffy was doing, except that Puffy was the host of the parties where a lot of things were taking place. He was saying these they go, that's the Hollywood norm. And the Hollywood norm, and sex is a big thing. And that's how they keep control over each other. You want to be the one, okay, it might have happened to you, but now you want to be the predator instead of the prey. And they offed him. He was calling them all out. Tom Hanks, what's the one? Kevin Spacey, saying how they were raping boys, molesting boys, what they used to do, what they not used to, but what they do to children.
yeah, yeah.
He was calling them all out. Now the thing with Puffy is, I feel like now they're trying to throw in kid victims. I wasn't there, of course, but I don't really think kids was Puffy's thing. So that I kind of feel like is a reach. I feel like they're just trying to spread the spectrum to really cast the net to just, he's bad either way. But a lot of them others, like that Epstein flight log list, all of them celebrities, yeah, they were dibbing and dabbling with children. That's what the specialty was. That was the cocktail of the hour over on Epstein Island. The
Mm-hmm.
children, the underage girls, and the young treats.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like he's just been chosen to have it publicized. So it takes the heat off for everybody else. That's why you see everybody's quiet. They're not talking. They're not making comments about it. They don't want to be tied because they know everyone got some shit on them. They, especially if you've been in them part, not everyone, but most of them, they do shit too.
Yeah,
They be fucking kids, Lamont. Kids. And I'm not talking about preteens. I'm talking about 3, 4, or 5 babies. That shit is pure evil. Look up who Moloch is. Moloch and Baphomet.
mm-hmm.
And understand when they make certain references to who they sacrifice. And look up what adrenochrome is and how that's extracted. A lot of that has very demonic roots. That whole sex cult shit that operates Hollywood, this shit is dark and depraved. That's why even down, once I learned about this, I gotta catch myself. I heard someone say this, don't ever call your children kids. What's a kid? A kid is technically a baby goat, right? That's what they call baby goats. Baby goats are known as kids, like baby sheeps are lambs, baby cows are calves. A kid is a baby goat.
Yeah,
What image is Baphomet in? Who's Baphomet? He's the goat. Half human, he's supposed to be half man, half goat with the titties. And it represents the duality. That's why you'll see in the reference he has one hand up and one hand down. It represents the duality of the world, which is as above, so below. So where you have purity, you also have darkness. Children represent purity. In order to harness that, you have the darkness that comes and they do the depraved shit to these children. So when they say kids, you're acknowledging this is your offering to this goat-headed demon, this demonic entity, Baphomet. So that's now it's normalized. We all say kids. You see it in commercial. Come to the kids' place. Oh, this is a kids' movie. Kids, 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 kids. Again, it goes back to words being spells, and the certain spells we cast over ourselves with speaking shit. We don't really know what the origin is from. So when we calling our children kids, we're basically acknowledging like they don't belong to me. They belong to you. This is my offering to you. Do with them as you will.
Yeah.
And shit gets deep. It gets dark. It's dark. Even down to Aleister Crowley.
Yeah.
The guy that they Jay-Z was criticized for wearing his t-shirt.
Yeah.
He was a major high-ranking witch. He was he was a Satan worshiper, and he wrote a book, and in the book he said he absolutely believed you have to do certain things with children in order to get power. And the things he was talking about doing to children is the shit you hear on SVU. Not even, but those type of things. So it's very dark and depraved. So we, again, that comes down to idol worship. We are worshiping these stars, or not worshiping them, but idolizing them, thinking they could do no wrong. They're doing the worst. And these will be the same ones that get on stage when they win a Grammy and be like, I just want to thank God. Yeah, they're thinking God all right, but is it the same God you serve? You know, so again, it's like they throwing him under the bus, but he ain't doing nothing that the rest of them ain't doing. They all do that dark, deep, scary, depraved, evil shit. All of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them. Most of them do. That's how you see the ones that constantly winning Grammys and they always winning shit. Or look at Madonna. Why Madonna is 70, 80 years old and looking like she got the skin of a 40-year-old? Because she got her unlimited black child blood supply. They know what the fuck they're doing. That shit is dark. Don't get me started.
Nah, listen. You know what you're talking about.
I wish I didn't. Because that's what Quan was saying. When you go down that rabbit hole, a lot of that shit is going to make you look at life differently. Like when you start understanding, like, it makes you want to hold your children that much closer to you. When you understand. Did I tell you about how this is a true fact? This is the truth. There were kidnappings that were occurring in Virginia. Kindergarten children were being kidnapped right out of school. Like, so the FBI got involved. Come to find out, the CIA was doing it. It was called Operation something. I forgot. I'm going to look it up, though. And I'm going to send it to you so you can see what I'm talking about. But it was called Operation something. And they were kidnapping the CIA. They were kidnapping children and keeping them on a farm to either for rituals or shipping them across seas to sell them off as sex slaves to wealthy men and elite. And when the FBI realized that it was the CIA that was behind this, they covered it up. And this was like in what they said, the 80s or the 90s, but they covered it up because what would the American people say when they found out that their own government agency was responsible for something heinous and vile like that? That they were the ones kidnapping the children to make money to sell them overseas.
It's a big business.
So the CIA is not just responsible for bringing drugs over. All that depravity, that shit gets deep.
I saw that movie. There's a movie out. It was out almost about a year ago. And a celebrity did the movie. It was on sex trafficking and how serious that business is, and how you have politicians.
Recently, yeah. Out of the Dark. No, what was it called? I know what you're talking about. Yeah, that got a lot of controversy because they said the guy that did it, he has done some questionable things, and he did the movie to make it seem like this is something he's really vested in. But I'm gonna send you the article I read about that too. I forgot his name. I know what you're talking about though. And not Out of the Dark, Out of the Shadows, Into the Shadows, something like that. It was called. Because they were talking about it everywhere, right? And it was talking about children being trafficked. Yeah.
Well, the movie was actually about a man he took his daughter uh, uh, to a model shoot. It was like a
Mhm.
fashion model shoot or whatever the case is. And she left her, and it was like this random build. It was in a random building, so they must have rented out a suite. So they went in there, and he dropped his daughter off,
Mhm.
and I believe he came back like 2 3 hours later, and the freaking the office was empty.
Mm.
So they
Mm.
took
Mm. Mm.
all of the kids and was sex trafficking them, and
Mhm.
it was crazy.
You know who gets caught in sex trafficking a lot?
Ooh,
What major corporation? I'll let you guess. Take a wild guess. What major corporation gets in trouble often for having agents that do sex trafficking? It's a kid friendly corporation too. They make billions of dollars a year for attracting children.
Nickelodeon.
Disney,
I was close.
Walt Disney, Walt Disneyland in
Yeah,
Orlando. Look it up how many arrests and they've had sheriffs, park employees, all within rings. There were several rings that were busted. Black women, black men, white men, all different types of races. Police officers, officials, and they were sweeps. And when I'm talking about these investigations, we're taking like 30, 40 people at a time. Disneyland. Yup. And that shit was nowhere in mainstream media, but it was being reported,
oh,
but it wasn't nationalized. Why is there such trafficking rings where it's happening more than once at Disneyland? And then they go to tell you there's tunnels under Disneyland. Where they going? Where those tunnels lead to? Why they got tunnels under Disneyland? Let me not get on my Jaguar right shit.
nah. Listen, I mean, the thing is that this all goes back to the reason why certain things are not shown in media. You know why? Because who controls the
Exactly.
media? The FCC, right? Who controls the FCC? The government.
And who
And
controls them? The 13
yeah,
families. They control them. BlackRock,
yeah,
Vanderbilt, them,
yeah,
not just the Rothschilds. There's 13 of them. And
yeah.
and when you look at who these networks are owned and including media, who owns the Associated Press and all that, they tie into the same group. So when people, even when you have these political arguments, it's like, okay, you got to understand who is controlling it and what's their vested interest. If they don't fuck with you, they're gonna outcast you, and that's what they do to certain people.
I think that's what Diddy kind of slipped up at, man.
Big time.
I
He pissed
think,
somebody off.
yeah, that's because to even line him up with sex trafficking and little boys and little girls and all sorts of kind of shit. It's just like, and then it's the people that he knew. It's the people that he befriended. These wealthy white people who have all type of power, and some of them are some freaks for all I know. Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, and then people don't realize, like, yo, like, so Diddy, he went to an all boys Catholic school as
Mm-hmm.
elementary and high
Mm-hmm.
school.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know we don't know what type of trauma or history
What he
this
could have
man has
came.
had
Mm-hmm.
coming
Mm-hmm.
up as a young man. You
Not to
know,
mention, once he
like,
hit Andre Harrell, it
yeah,
was open season for him. It's rumored that Andre is the one that groomed him, according to what the word on the street is. Andre was the first one that took him under the wing and groomed him, and then passed him over to Clive.
I'm saying. So it's like, you know, there's a lot that could be put into this, you know, but for him to be caught up in the middle of this stuff, like jail might be the safest place for him to be right now,
Hmm.
low key,
Nope. Nope. Not even.
or Valley or
Because
some
all
shit.
they gotta do is send that guard in, or you see why he was saying he wasn't eating. Word on the street was he wasn't even eating because he already knew they going to send them, whoever is going to get him, they're going to send him from the inside. So that's why he feels even more trapped. He is, I know that man is scared out of his life, but you know what? At the same time, I'm gonna say this: I don't believe in. It's not for me to cast judgment on him as far as what type of life he lived. I could only give my opinion on it, but it's not for me to judge because I'm not his God. And at the end of the day, he's gonna face judgment. But what it does seem like is when you don't live righteous and when you live a life of just being selfish, whether it's stepping on the next person or robbing from them, taking advantage of them, it's like that shit catches up to you. And it could be that the roosters have come home. What is it? The crow, how is it? Something has come home to roost.
Yeah.
I forgot the saying, but you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying. For him,
Somebody, no, somebody
because
out there know the saying.
yes,
Put it in the
but
comments. Put
it's
it in the
like,
comments what she was trying
yes,
to say. I think
please, when the
my
roosters
man
come
Dak
home to
know.
roost,
The roosters come home to something. But
something. When
yeah,
something comes home to roost,
yeah,
but that could be where he's at right now,
yeah.
where karmically it misses nobody. And a lot of people be like, oh well, where's the, like I had this conversation with somebody the other day, and they was like, where's the karma for white people? And I'm like, well, that depends on the perspective, whose perspective you looking at. Now you could choose to be a victim when it comes to white people and the effects that it's had on our community. Oh, I can't get a job, I can't do this, I can't do this. But that's not true. Even and I'm not saying all people don't go through circumstances where they've tried and they keep meeting these obstacles. But now we got to get down to the root of it. Okay, now what? What can I do? Because when you got to eat and feed your family, you start getting hungry. Them hunger pains start talking. So what are you going to do? You're going to let them stop you from eating? You're going to find a way. That's nature. That's your survival instinct. So as long as we are programmed to keep thinking we're victims, we're going to stay in a hungry mindset. When we're hungry, we're not able to think our best. You don't think straight when you're hungry. When you're well fed, you are. Now, am I going to wait for them to feed me? Or do I have some mouths over here that I got to take care of? No, I'm going to get it and do it on my own. I'm not waiting for a handout. So again, it's like we have to take our power and understand that we don't need nobody. Black people are resilient. When they was feeding our ancestors who were slaves the slops of the pig and shit like that, what they did, they fed everybody. They made meals with it. Now it wasn't the healthiest, but everybody ate. Everybody ate. You understand what I'm saying? We're resilient. We're not going to sit here and be victims to nobody. We are very well capable of making sure we could get what we need. So when you're in a system that wants to keep you under the claw and make you feel like you can only go but so far, what are you going to do? Fight back. You don't have to be victim. And that's when he said, back to my point of saying to him, he's like, oh, well, where's white people's karma? They're already getting it. They have to look for us for the blueprint for everything.
Everything, yeah.
We just don't know that. The average person just doesn't know that. They watch us and study us for everything, down to medicine, down to our children, down to our blood. Remember we was talking about before how melanin, they know how much and worthy, how much melanin is worth. We don't. Where you got our black brothers and sisters saying like, I'm not going in the sun, I'm not trying to get black, or talking down on somebody because they're black. That shit is not. It's worth more than platinum. You understand the health benefits, how you benefit just the universe from
Yeah,
possessing this neuromelanin in your body.
yeah.
And we are being taught to hate it. So now, again, how are they receiving their karma? They can't survive without us. Now you see it programming. Who they got with these interracial relationships? They got the black woman with the white man. Remember, we was talking about that before. Because they understand what we possess. When it comes to entertainment, sports, money, they have just mastered the art of manipulation to putting puppet strings over us to where we don't see that they need us. But there are people
Yeah.
collectively waking up. They see that they need us. They can't even breed with their women. They're dying.
Because
They need us to
look
survive.
at the
That's not karma.
Kardashians. Look at the Kardashians.
Oh, because they know what time it is. All of them.
All of them
All
got
of them
black
except for
men.
one. Except for Kendall Jenner. No, is Kendall Jenner? Is that
Nah,
the
nah.
skinny model?
The the um the one
Yes.
who has she dates the white guy. Well, she
Yes,
was dating
that's
the white guy.
Kendall. That's Kendall Jenner because Kylie Jenner is the one that got the baby by Travis Scott.
Hmm.
Her and oh no, you're talking about the older one. The oldest one, the short one, she's dating
The white one.
Travis Barker.
Okay.
She's the one that just got married to Travis Barker. She's the one that has the white
Okay.
children. But Chloe and Kim and Kylie, the three middle ones,
Mm-hmm.
they're all the ones that have babies by black men because they understand what it is. They know it's a genetic thing.
Mm-hmm.
So again, when you say are they facing their karma, you think they're not?
And their
Whose
mother's
whose
their
glasses are
mother's
you
dating the
looking at it
black man
from?
now too.
You said
Their mother,
what?
she's dating the black man now too.
She been dating that nigga for like a good decade because she know what time it
Yeah.
is.
Even rest in peace, OJ. You know.
And OJ, word. And OJ, she was getting some of that pie back in the, some of that wood in the 90s. But again, how is it not their karma when you've hated somebody so much that now you need them? You have so much pride that you would never let us know it. But the ones who know, no, you need us. You need us for survival. You need us for medicine. You need us to study. You need us for entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Everything they do when it comes to music and everything, where did they get it from? Something that was some kind of form from us. That's not
Mm-hmm.
karma for you. They're not this golden race that is the creators of everything. No, they've been exposed. We know they're frauds. To me, that's
Yeah.
the biggest karma.
I saw a clip. Diddy was interviewed by Charlemagne, and he was saying
Yeah.
how he's gonna be investing his money into the Black Party
Mm-hmm.
because he
Mm-hmm.
said into a Black Party,
Mm-hmm.
a party that can pretty much hold politicians accountable for things that are needed in the Black and brown communities.
And they need to start with
Because
the Black Caucus.
yeah,
Why isn't that being
so
started with the Black Caucus? That's what they're supposed to be for us. And what are they? They're all shills and puppets. They do nothing for us.
yeah.
But try to guilt you for not voting Democratic.
But
That's what the
my
Black
thing
Caucus
is
does.
that they did that video was never circulated
Of
that
course
much.
not.
Like you didn't see that video
Anywhere.
circulated across the platforms or what have you. It was like a hidden jewel video that was posted, and I'm just seeing it.
Has Charlemagne talked about it? Because I don't like watch the Breakfast Club
This is what I'm
consistently,
trying to
but
say. Like
he did
it
the
was
interview,
nothing.
and I don't even
This
recall
is
him saying anything about it.
Yeah, like, and this is what I'm trying to say, man, because it's like when they hear that you're doing stuff like that and making moves like that, that's when they like, yo, nah, this man, he's trying to change the agenda. You feel me? Like he's about to, just like what they did with Bill Cosby. The land he
I
was
feel
about to buy
like
NBC, and
I
you know,
feel like Puffy started waking up, like, and it wasn't just that; it was finally understanding his power. So when I say that, I feel like he pissed somebody off, and they said Clive Davis was one of them. In my conspiracy theory mind, I feel like again, once they saw that he had way more control, whether it was from recording things or whatever, that when he felt like he had the upper hand, that's when it was like, okay, so whether it was talking about that politically or not, it was they saw that he's becoming a problem now.
along with the liquor
It
brand,
went from him being,
along with the liquor brand, along with that liquor
yes,
situation,
all of that.
all
Right.
these different things.
They had a meeting about him and someone was like, he gotta go.
This the
Yes, we agree.
last
He
this the
gotta go.
last right. This the last straw.
And it's because he was just becoming it wasn't we all know Puffy is being rambunctious and always being a rebel. He was going to do what he wanted. He was always able to slither his way out of situations, because even back down to Steve Stout, remember when he fucked Steve Stout up over the Nas You Can Hate Me Now video? Remember,
Yeah.
he was on trial for that. Shortly after that, the shooting in the club with Shine. Everybody know Puffy did that, but Shine still got convicted for it. He was able to slither himself out. I feel like he got way too powerful and they just was like, nah. So it wasn't just that. I feel like that wasn't the catalyst, but I feel like it was a number of things. And we definitely not gonna have you leading black people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They wasn't gonna have that.
That would have been crazy.
I feel like people can still do it because you know what? Why isn't Jay-Z doing something like that? And it's not to say he isn't, but I feel like they've been on long enough to have already started something in motion. Whereas let's really rebuild Black Wall Street. No, every Black person won't be a billionaire, even though ideally we would all love to, but at least we could have wealth that we're passing on from generation to generation versus it being like, well, you a New Yorker and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna leave my son in this apartment because I want to move down south. And you feel like that's how you setting him up. You know what I mean? Like we should be passing things on. We should be focusing on our legacy. What are we passing on to our children? That's not simple shit. You know what I mean? Like, no, we really need to focus on rebuilding Black wealth. I feel like we deserve that as a people. We spend enough money with everybody else. We really need to focus on ourselves. It's the problem is the divide
Yeah.
that we have. And right now the divide is
Listen.
political when it's
Mhm.
party that race, they're banking on us. And they created a divide on purpose because they depend on us to bring it home.
Mm-hmm.
Soon as we pull back, please, you know what kind of problem that would be? Nobody Black voted. Wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
But no, everyone is like they're idolizing these candidates. Like, man, listen.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm pretty sure right now, you know, the people controlling media is like, listen, man, we don't know who we want y'all to vote for. Y'all just figure this one out.
I feel like it's already selected. They just use the elections to see who has more of an influence over the American people. So
Okay.
they'll know, okay, that's how they can push agendas under them. That's just my theory. Because
Okay.
I feel like the presidential elections are already pre-selected.
Okay.
They know who they want to be up next.
Yeah. So yeah. I
Which is
think this.
why elections could be fixed. Because I don't know if you remember George Bush when
Mm-hmm.
it was like he needed Florida to win, and his brother was governor. Jebediah Bush was governor in Florida, and
Mm-hmm.
they said he lost the state, but miraculously it looked like he won it. So that's how he was able to win. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they wanted Bush in office because that was about that oil.
Okay.
That was about the oil. Remember, his dad was president, and he was the one doing business with the Middle East with all those oil things going on. And then that's when what did they call it? Peace in the Middle East with that war that was happening like in the early
Yep.
90s. And
I
then
remember.
what you said?
I
Yeah.
remember.
So you remember, right? That
Mm-hmm.
was around when it went from Bush to Clinton. And then a
Mm-hmm.
few years later, now you got Bush Jr. and he was trying to pick back up that he was trying to pick back up that oil. They're from Texas. That they were built their wealth was built off of oil, the Bush
Yeah.
family.
Yeah. That's that big money.
All of that is all pre-planned. They already know who they want, but who you think they want this time, Lamont?
Huh?
Who you think they're gonna pick this time? Who you think is gonna take this race?
That's a good question, man. I think that we're gonna listen, man. I think that something's gonna happen, and it's just gonna. I don't know. It's just you know we can't change the rules. The
Mm-hmm.
Constitution is already written. It was already written,
Mm-hmm.
so we can't change. We can't you know we can't say oh. I just feel like Michelle Obama should have ran for president. I think
I
this
look
is
at
her
her a
time.
little differently now.
You know.
I look at her a little
She
differently.
should have ran. She should have ran for president. She'd have been a perfect
She
candidate.
definitely would have won. She would have been
Yeah.
the way better candidate
Then,
than
then Kamala.
Kamala, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. She'd have been a way better candidate than Kamala.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, you know,
She don't want all that on her because she said it several times. People been begging her, why don't you run for president? And she's like, nope, 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 nope. I think if Barack gets in her ear enough, she'll be like, okay, fuck it, I'll go up. But for the most part,
because
I
they
don't
ain't
think
got
she
no
would. She don't
grand,
want the headache.
they don't got no grandkids and nothing like that. Like them little girls, them girls, they ain't out outside. Like this is the
They
perfect time for them.
outside.
I mean, but like you don't. I mean, I don't know if they date or not, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
They
they be
one of them.
showing them.
They,
They were showing like the who is it? It's Malia, Sasha and Malia. Which one is
Mhm.
the older one?
Oh, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Well, one of them, One of them is like going through that phase where she hates like the public eye being on
The
her.
media. Okay.
Yeah, and you just see her like just smoking her little
Hmm.
cigarettes and with her little short skirts on, partying because
Hmm.
they're young girls. They've been sheltered their whole for
Hmm.
majority of their life, and they
Hmm.
just want to be, they at that dying and bopping stage, the college girl stage, I'll say. And they don't want Secret Service following them everywhere. That prohibits what they want to do. Like they
Hmm.
want to be, they want to be free to do what they want to do. Not saying they were wild out,
Yeah.
but they outside.
So
They definitely outside.
speaking of wilding out, right? Um, and outside,
Hmm.
how do you feel how do you feel about what's this Angel Reese with those little booty shorts she had on the other day?
I feel like she is reveling in her celebrity, and she is in that I'm sexy, and she's kind of just like letting the money. I don't want to say getting to her head because she's a beautiful girl, very attractive, beautiful body. But it's like you don't have to do that. Like whether it's because maybe she's a tall girl.
Yeah.
She's a tall girl. So there could be maybe, growing up, she didn't get a lot of the guys that she wanted at first. And now she has a new level of celebrity. So it's like a newfound attention. So she's like, well, let me step it up and show you how feminine I am. That's what I get from her overdoing it with having her ass cheeks hang out. That's how I take
Well,
it.
my thing is, it's like, why do you wear something like that and then
Attention.
but no, but and then complain about how people portray you by being, too sexual, if that
For
makes sense.
attention on both sides. You do it to attract the attention,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like, oh my God, how can it's like now I'm listening to you so I can sympathize with you. Oh, you got this unwarranted attention, and they try to sexualize you, but you should be able to dress however you want. It's attention from both sides. I
Mm-hmm.
can I can dip my foot in that water, but then play victim. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? I can walk around naked, but then go to cover myself up as soon as somebody says something about it. Somebody, you know what I'm saying? Like
Mm-hmm.
the argument is clear. What's the name? Dave Chappelle said it too. Somebody else said it recently. You're gonna dress like a police officer and then you get offended when I run to you for help?
Mm-hmm.
What's the reaction you expecting? If you got on a whore's uniform, and I'm not calling that young lady a whore, but I'm saying as far as when you're dressing promiscuous, you're gonna wear, for the old school term, a whore's uniform and then get offended when someone thinks you're a whore. You know better than that. You know better than that. What you doing?
Mm-hmm.
Because she could have had on a pair of jeans and still would have been
Killed
sexy, beautiful,
it.
gorgeous,
Killed it.
stunning. You know
Killed
what I'm
it.
saying? Like, ooh.
Killed it.
But again, her being younger, and that's all they promote is over sexualization in order for you to feel desired. I wouldn't be surprised if she starts showing up in lingerie shit somewhere when she's on when she's going, like, to events and parties, and you know what I mean, these what they call it, walkthroughs for these parties.
She's doing that while Caitlin Clark got the Rookie of the Year.
Like, come on, sister, you don't need that. You're gorgeous. You're gonna turn heads regardless, and you a young millionaire or about to
Nah,
be.
she got to be a millionaire. She got those endorsements. $1 million endorsements she has.
She got the wrong people around her. She got the wrong people around her, because I'm sure she had um this. Look at, for example, she's a woman she's from the Bronx, but she lives in Miami.
Mm-hmm.
And I know she knows like a few celebrities. She has a boutique, always keeps herself together. This woman is gorgeous, stunning, body bad. And she's got to be, if I'm 41, she got to be like 45 or something.
Mm-hmm.
She's a few ages older than me. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send you her page. When you see her, you're gonna be like, damn, she's bad. And you never see her revealing. You never see her with titties out, with pasties, with see-through things. She wears, like, the long summer dresses, the long skirts,
Mm-hmm.
and she shows how her clothes could be cute. You could go to church, you could go to brunch, you could go partying, you could go to the club. She has all of that, but none of it is over sexualized. And this woman is gorgeous. Gorgeous. Now, if she had women who carried themselves like that in her life, I'm talking about Angel Reese.
Mm-hmm.
She had women like that in her life where she could be like, damn, she fly. She dressed from head to toe. I'm
Yeah.
sure she would that would rub off on her. You know what I mean? Because you would
Because
see
I
how
don't
this
want to
woman
have to.
carried herself.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to accept that, man. Like
It's
as
not
much
it's,
as much
it's
as
not okay.
yeah, I don't want to have to be like, oh, yeah, she's a young lady. She's a, like, nah, man. I
It's
don't want to
not
have to accept that.
cool.
I
No.
don't want to feel comfortable saying that it's okay for her to be dressing
It's
like that.
not. And then they zooming in on her ass and shit for her social media. Come on, man. Like, just keep
It's
your, you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm too old school, but I don't like it.
yeah.
I don't like it. Like, be like that for your man. Walk around the house like that for your man.
Maybe she ain't
Not
got.
for the world to see.
One of my coworkers said maybe she's single. She's trying to find one. This is her way of trying to find one.
But what man you want? You want a man that values a woman that got her ass cheeks hanging out? Because the first thing I'm gonna think is she sitting down with her ass out? Do you know what outside surfaces are like sitting on public seats with your bare skin next to your intimate
Yeah.
parts? You know what I'm saying? Like you want to have that exposed and on. Where you like what?
Wow, crazy. Wow, crazy.
Modesty. There's nothing wrong with some modesty. You ain't gotta wear a skirt down to your
I
ankles to show
know
that
one
you
thing.
have respect for yourself.
I know one thing. Jay-Z is not letting Blue Ivy come outside looking like that.
That nigga's not playing in the slightest. I'm surprised that she be able to wear some off the shoulder things because I was like, wait, how old is this little girl? 12. Why she got
Um,
this off the shoulder thing? And that's for me. So I was surprised she was able to wear that.
that girl is worth over $500 million.
Sheesh. Trust fund baby.
500. She's worth over $500 million.
Mm.
And this is what this this is all I'm trying to say. You know what I mean? Like, I highly doubt when this girl is 18, 19 years old, she's gonna be outside looking like hope for they're not raising her like that.
I don't think they raised her like that, but then I question certain things with her mother. Not
Mm-hmm.
saying that Beyonce would let their daughter dress promiscuous, but I'm trying to think of like for example, Puffy's daughters, the two twins, whatever. But like you can see when they dress up and stuff, they dress in like little things. But I've never seen them in anything where they were, and I know they model, but
Mm-hmm.
I've never seen them in anything where they were like scantily clad and inappropriate for young girls. So I feel like, yeah, they're teens. They want to kind of dress like with the crop tops and the stomach showing. I'm old school. I feel like young girls don't need to be dressing like that. When you hit like 17, 18, okay. But I don't feel like under that you need to be wearing that. But some parents think differently.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I still have a touch of modesty to me where I'm still old school with certain shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't like little girls with their nail polish. Some parents don't feel no way about that. But for me, I'm just like, certain things could be saved when they're older. Maybe if it's clear or maybe a design, but like red nail polish on
Mm-hmm.
little babies' hands and toes,
Mm-hmm.
red. What would your grandmother say about red nail polish? That's a horse nail. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Like, so
Mm-hmm.
certain things I carry modesty, but I guess in the industry or more modern parents, they don't see it the same way. So let's hope
Yeah.
that he's able to protect Blue Ivy and she don't get too Hollywood and he don't get too out of touch where he
Mm-hmm.
can keep her with some measure of,
Mm-hmm.
maintaining an innocence for a respectable young lady.
Yeah. 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 Man, yo, listen, man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you for,
Thanks, Lamont.
being able to be a voice for the sisters out here.
I be
You
trying.
know, nah, man, and like just not not letting the people feel like it's okay for them to look a certain way, to carry themselves a certain way, and to um what's the word I'm looking for? For it's okay to live by some of the social norms that's out there.
Hmm.
Yeah, saying
And just
because
upholding self-respect, showing that you have
yeah.
morals and things like that's okay. Because the social norm now is to be promiscuous and
Mhm.
to underdress. And oh
Yeah.
shoot, my battery's about to die again. But that's normalized, and we need to kind of bring back. It's okay to be you're still attractive and sexy, but you don't have to show your intimate parts in order to convince people you are. We need to normalize that.
Yeah, and catering to the man too.
And you know when he deserves it, that's right.
Yeah,
That's right, baby. I'm gonna bring you your plate. What you
you know
want
what
to
I'm
eat?
saying? You
You
know
want
what I
some
mean?
extra gravy on this chicken?
Like for real. If you still with him, cater to him. Like what the hell?
Yeah. But you know what? I feel like as a partner, that should be both ways. I'm going to cater to my wife. I'm going to cater to my husband. I'm going to feed my husband. I'm going to make sure my wife has everything she needs. I'm going to make sure my husband has everything he needs. Like it's that
Mhm.
partnership where we pour into each other. Because the
Yeah,
moment we have lack, that's the end of the relationship. Once you have lack,
yeah.
you know,
That's
let's fulfill each other.
That's true. That's true. All right, so yo, man, this was a good one for tonight. It's a good
Yes,
one.
it
Another one in the book.
was. As always.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So all my people out there, make sure y'all follow the YouTube channel. And just stick with us. Stick with us. All right.
Hmm.
And until next time, man, you know, we gonna figure out what this agenda is. We gonna figure out what it is. You know what I'm saying? So
Word.
so you have a good night, Joy, okay?
You too. Enjoy your Saturday. I'll talk to you soon,
All right,
Auntie.
I'll talk to you later.
All right.
All right.